Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stellar Galaxy TCG. This is Eric, and we are coming to you today with a new video just to kind of update you on the journey that I've been going through. We started with this channel kind of basically scalping, and I'd like to talk to you about the things that I've learned and the things that I'm trying to work on going forward. Basically, we started our journey on this channel, as I'm sure you noticed, with a lot of like pack rippings and stuff like that, because we were just basically trying to get as many views as possible. Not that it really helped that much because a bunch of people were doing it. And it turns out that, you know, opening packs for YouTube videos just isn't a very good financial decision. Right now, going to be just basically going off the cuff and just kind of telling you how I transitioned from scalping to a real business. And I'm not going to do any edits or anything, so if it's kind of janky and whatnot, whatever, I'm not too worried about it. Scalping. It's a pretty contentious topic. People are not a fan, and that's basically how I started this whole business. I would just be going around doing my normal job. It involves going into a lot of retail stores and everything, and whether you'd catch restocks or you'd catch, refilling the vending machines, it, was quite fruitful at the beginning before everybody was kind of doing it, because I kind of started a little bit before the craze kind of just took off and exploded. So that was when you were still able to find 151 here and there, and I was able to find it in Targets and some of these vending machines. Now that they've kind of removed the 151 ETBs and everything like that from the vending machines, but I basically started just buying whatever I could there at MSRP, and obviously 151 was selling way above MSRP at the time, so it was pretty easy to buy and then flip. Well, fast forward to now, and clearly, scalping is quite, a bad thing to do. People are going to hustle, they're going to do what they're going to do, but the fact that, people are running around trying to get this kind of stuff, it's just not a sustainable business model, because all these people, as soon as Pokemon hobby kind of goes down and does all that, jazz kind of goes through a little bit of a bear market, those people are going to disappear and they're going to move on to the next thing, whatever it may be at the time. And I'm really trying to start a business with this. And so I basically started, just flipping everything on eBay. And I've kind of just gotten to the point where instead of doing that, I am going towards, trying to buy raw cards and grade them. And that's kind of how I transition my business, is doing it that way, just trying to transition from scalping sealed product into buying raw cards and grading them for a profit. As of right now, grading cards is super profitable if you got an eye for it, which to start out I didn't. I got my prized possession currently right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a PSA 7 Pikachu. It's the shiny Pikachu from Paldean Fates. I was basically at the beginning trying to buy sealed product and open it and submit that product that I got from the booster boxes, booster bundles, whatever I might happen to have found, and just submitting those cards without really kind of doing my due diligence, really looking at the cards. And the Pikachu is one of the first ones that I got out of a booster bundle, and it turns out it has a massive print line just completely across the middle. And yeah, ended up getting a 7. That one was pretty difficult because obviously that came back with one of my first submissions, and it really stung because when you first do your submission, waiting so damn long with some of these wait times with PSA. I think I submitted it last week in November during Thanksgiving and didn't get it back until the end of January, and so it was forever waiting. And then when you finally open up that app and you look at it and you get that little cool little animation of being able to basically like flip your cards over and kind of see what they're graded at. When I saw like a bunch of those cards, I mean, I had a few cards that paid for the entire submission and plus, but the Pikachu I was expecting so much more because I thought it looked pretty good. And then when I got it back, I was able to take a look at it under some proper light, and it just wasn't quite what I had anticipated. So I'm basically keeping this card to kind of remind me of doing a little bit better due diligence and everything about grading cards and trying to, you know, do a little bit better at that. I mean, this is kind of a late mention of it, but clearly I'm in my garage. This light isn't a thing. It's just a shell. I should probably do that. And I was able to, kind of transition my business because I figured that the long-term strategy would be to do something a little bit more maintainable, easier to maintain than trying to run around these stores and fight these people for sealed product and all that kind of stuff, because it's it's a hassle and it's stressful. It's a lot easier to order a bunch of cards, kind of find something that I want to chase after, buy a bunch of the cards off of TCG Player, get them in, and then kind of go through, see which ones are worth grading, which ones aren't, and selling the ones that aren't worth grading, and then grading the ones that are, clearly. So if you ever kind of buy anything from my eBay store, which link in the description for that, it's basically the same as the channel name. I sell a lot of stuff on eBay, and that's kind of where I primarily focus on, submitting my cards for sale and all that kind of whatnot, because it just makes it easier to just sell through eBay because they do all the kind of stuff. They are the platform and everything, so it makes it pretty easy. I'm definitely going to try and upload more content. I'm going to definitely be focusing a little bit more on news and things that are going on in the market. I'll talk about some of my journeys as, growing up through this hobby. I've learned a lot from when I started to where I'm in now. As you can see, if you look back in the channel, I started out trying to drink alcohol in opening packs, just try to open up packs and kind of review what comes in a box and everything. And now there's a million channels on opening packs and everything. But I figured, I could kind of give my opinion on the market and some of the news that are going on, and just kind of update my journey on how I'm going through this, hobby and everything. Because my goal is to kind of create a business and make something of it. And the hardest part has been slowing down and just refocusing everything. I'm not trying to make as much money as possible in the short term, because the goal is to, make something that's going to last me forever and can kind of change everything. So going from scalping to creating a full-on business was quite the change. It's always exciting to chase these things around, the sealed product around to try and flip it. One thing you learn when you're trying to sell a lot of this product is that, yeah, the margins might be pretty decent, especially now with just things being wild. But the one thing I learned super early on is just how, especially selling on eBay, is that your margins get eaten up a lot between what eBay takes for, the listing fees and all that kind of stuff is, typically 13 something percent. Then you got to, all the shipping costs and everything, like literally the shipping costs and all the shipping materials. And a lot of those times I would be getting these boxes, whether it be the booster bundles for 151 or the ETBs, and I would be eating up almost all of it. So all this running around for like 20 something dollars worth of profit just wasn't worth it. And that's why at some point you just get to where it's just like, this just isn't quite worth it for how difficult it is to get product. It's just you're competing with too many people, and it's just not something that's maintainable. That's why at some point I had to make the decision to switch my focus from sealed product to single cards and grading, because it's much easier to get supply of cards and grading them. Obviously, especially right now, grading through PSA takes quite a lot of time. But in the end, it's still worth it, because you end up paying, $16, $17 a card, depending on the cost of the card, between $10 to $20, and these cards are selling for like 200 plus. So you have quite a hefty profit margin that definitely makes it worth the wait, as long as you're not over leveraged, and that way you can wait and it doesn't hurt you too much. And hopefully, as if we ever get to like a crash or whatever, to where a lot of these scalpers and things kind of disappear, it should hopefully kind of lower the amount of time and things that it takes. So that's just kind of like a quick update on what I'm doing. I'm trying to transition my business to being a little bit more legitimate, being less scummy as a scalper. Um, it's never too late to change. You can definitely think about doing it. Either way, I'm going to kind of cut this video here because it's already gotten 10 minutes and I don't have much charisma to speak of, so I'm just going to leave you guys with that. It's never too late to change. You can become a true business person. You don't have to always be a scalper. Either way, this is Eric with Stellar Galaxy TCG. I'll see you next time. Peace.